Good morning, students. Welcome to e-learning social science class. Today we are going to learn about our Indian Constitution. The focus points are the meaning of the term Constitution, need for the Constitution, and making of a Constitution. Students, think of some place where we don't have to follow the rules. I'm sure you will say, no such place. Some might say, at home. See, whether we are at home, in a school, on the road, in playground, everywhere we have to follow rules. At home, the rules are flexible and can be changed easily. Or we can say that we may break or change the rules ourselves. But all other public places, we have to follow the same rules. Let us see the example of some games. Look at the screen. What is common in them? In all games, so many players are playing together. Then what is the difference? In every game, there are some rules which help defining the game and distinguish one game from another. Now the question arises, do we have such rules in our society? Yes, like these games, a society also has constitutive rules that make it what it is and differentiate it from other kinds of societies. In large societies, in which different communities of people live together, these rules are formulated through consensus, and in modern countries, these consensus is usually available in written form. Students, now the question arises, where do we find the rules that govern the country? The answer is Constitution. What is a constitution? A written document in which we find a set of rules. That is called a constitution. Why do we need a constitution? It is because it serves several purposes. Let us look at them one by one. A constitution lays certain ideals that form the basis of the kind of country that we as citizens aspires to live in. A constitution helps serve as a set of rules and principles that all persons in a country can agree upon the basis on the way in which they want the country to be governed. Let us understand it with the help of one example of a neighboring country. Nepal was a monarchy. The country of Nepal has witnessed several people struggle for democracy. There was a people struggle in 1990 because it did not reflect the ideals of the country. And this constitution rested the final authority with the king. The people's movement in Nepal fought for several decades to establish democracy, and in 2006 they finally succeeded in putting an end to the powers of the king, and finally in 2015 Nepal adopted its new constitution. India too is a democracy, and this practice included in our constitution as well. So the another important function of our constitution is to define the nature of country's polity. After having Indian gained independence from the British, the Indian national movement had many ideas for free and democratic India. They envisioned a set of laws that would determine the functioning of a democratic government. The Constitution plays a crucial role in laying out certain important guidelines that govern decision making within the societies. In a democracy, we choose our leaders so that they can exercise power responsibly on our behalf. However, there is possibility that these leaders might misuse their authority, and the Constitution usually provides safeguard against this. The misuse of authority can result in gross injustice. Now, let us see this storyboard and understand the situation that the monitor here is misusing their power. It may happen with you also sometimes in the class. Another important function that a constitution plays in a democracy is to ensure that the majority or the dominant group does not use its power against the less powerful people or the minorities. You can see another storyboard where boys and girls of the class wants to play two different games, but unfortunately boys won because they are in majority. Such unhealthy situations can occur in democratic societies where a majority can continuously enforce decisions that exclude minorities and go against their interest. Every society is prone to this tyranny of the majority. The constitution usually contains rules that ensures that minorities are not excluded from anything that is routinely available to the majority. Another reason that why we have the constitution precisely to prevent this tyranny is the domination by the majority of the minority. This is referred by the intercommunity where one community, the majority community, is dominating the another community, and the other is intra-community where in the Hindu society the caste system was there and the three upper caste they were dominating the untouchables. The third significant reason why we need a constitution is to save us from ourselves. Look at the storyboard. Shabnam wants to see her favorite program sitting beside her parents, but at the same time, she remembered that she has to study for the next day as she is going to give test. So she decided that she will switch off the television and she will study. Next day, she was able to attempt her test very well. Similarly, the Constitution helps us to protect against certain decisions that we might take that could have an adverse effect on the larger principles that the country believes in. For example, it is possible that many people who live in democracy might come to strongly feel that party politics has become so acrimonious that we need a strong dictator to set this right. Swept by this emotion, they may not realize that in the long run, this dictator rule goes against all their interest. A good constitution does not allow these whims to change its basic structure. It does not allow for the easy overthrow of provisions that guarantee rights of citizens and protect their freedom. India has its own constitution. This constitution was prepared by the Constituent Assembly, a group of about 300 people specially elected for the purpose. The assembly consists of members of different political parties, representatives of the minorities and the weaker sections of the society, and legal experts. The assembly first met on 9 December 1946 and completed its work on 26 November 1949. The constitution framed by the assembly came into force on 26 January 1950. Students, let's recall what we learned today. A set of rules according to which the government of the country is run is called Constitution. The rules and principles which determine how the country is governed and which give its citizens certain rights from the constitution of the country. India's constitution came into force on 26 January 1950. The constitution of the country tells its citizens what kind of society they live and what value their society upholds. It tells the citizen what type of government they have. It defines the power of the government so that no individual or the government misuse their authorities. Indian constitution have provision that seeks to prevent majority groups from violating the rights of minorities. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay healthy.